Climate change, is it happening? The quick answer is yes, it is happening. Hi, my name is Pasha Asadi. I am a Pierce College student, and I'm here to inform you, the audience, that our Earth is indeed going through some drastic changes in its climate. Now, how do we know this is happening? Well, I'm not a scientist myself, but it's hard to deny the facts that scientists have given us that prove that indeed our Earth's atmosphere is going through a thinning process through pollutants of carbon being released into it. Now, so with the thinning of the atmosphere of the Earth, we're getting more ultraviolet sun rays coming through and penetrating the Earth's at its core, raising temperatures and raising water current, and in effect it is changing everything around us through weather, land formation, and water temperature. So with more sun rays coming through, heating up the temperature of the Earth, our polar ice caps tend to melt with a cooling rush of water, with cold water getting into our Earth's oceans, causing a change in temperature in the Earth's core. So how do we know that carbon is causing this? Well, by drilling into the polar ice caps, drilling deep and miles down, it's old ice from like thousands of years ago. And by doing so, the scientists have taken air samples, because there's air pockets in that ice, so they take samples of the air to test it and compare it to our current air levels. So what they have found was thousands of years ago, the Earth had much less carbon in the atmosphere. So our current levels of carbon in our air is causing the Earth to thin the atmosphere. Now when this happens, just like I said before, the sun rays are coming down and they're penetrating the Earth, raising everything, raising hell. So what the scientists have discovered, that why are we having more carbon? Well, it's probably because we're having more pollution caused by the Industrial Revolution. So with the Industrial Revolution caused more carbon to be burnt and released, making the Earth's atmosphere thinner. So, in correlation with what the scientists have discovered from many years ago, thousands of years ago, and what our current levels are at now, it is hard to deny the fact that we are causing the changes in the climate. Now, it's not too late. The scientists have also said, according to NASA, and my personal favorite scientist, Bill Nye the Science Guy, who is the greatest scientist ever, he says if we could just change our global economy to change it from a fossil fuel energy economy to an alternative energy source, we can reverse the effects of the climate change and reduce the effects of carbon being released into the atmosphere and just stop the thinning of that atmosphere. So by changing oil being our main source of energy to a more cleaner and reducing the carbon being released, the Earth will go through that change, reverting back to its previous air quality from thousands of years ago. So even though I may not know this for a fact, the scientists who got those science degrees, they sure know. And NASA, who we all know, is accredited for the scientific community and is 90% of all the scientists of all the world, the global scientific community, say that climate change is happening. So what can you do to improve that? Well, that's up to you and for the scientists to discover, but from what they have said, if you reduce the amount of energy that you're using, we can all do our part in saving the atmosphere. So in conclusion, the atmosphere of the Earth is changing. It's thinning, causing more sun rays to come in, which causes climate change, which is due to the release of carbon through our industrial revolution, and our production. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.